Yep, you got questions, we got answers, and we're going to all talk about the Kansas City Chiefs, what's going on with them as they get ready to start phase 3 on-field activities that we can actually see them do something. This is my favorite part. Hope that you guys are ready for it. We're going to answer your questions tonight on RGR Football. I'm muted, evidently. I'm just talking away here. Hopefully you guys could see that. So, hey, yeah, a lot of hiccups here tonight. I don't know what's going on with the stream, but we're having some issues. So welcome. Hope you guys are having fun. This is Dan Harms. I'm Ryan Tracy. Hopefully the video has finished playing because I can't see anything on the screen at all.
So, again, that's nice.
Yeah, hey, I'm winging it. It's fun. Glad you guys are here. A lot of questions. They're just about to actually start doing something. Liz, thank you. Let me know if everything's back to normal. I hope so. I don't know.
Yeah, no, we got some issues.
Yeah, right. Hey, it's not storming at my house, so I'm not sure what it is out the window, but hey, it is what it is.
Mine either.
Okay, cool. I hope you guys saw last night's with Mike Burton. That was a lot of fun, and he really enjoys engaging with some of the questions that you don't get to ask everybody. So I was really glad to do that, and he seems to have a good one. Okay, Liz says we're back to normal. Everybody give Liz a hand, will you guys? Aaron's schedule is such that Liz, the mod mama, is going to be managing things for us. If you guys have trouble or there's somebody in here causing trouble, let us know, and Liz will help you take care of it. And thank you, Liz. I appreciate you as always. Make sure that you guys go check out the new channel from the boys, Aaron and Stevie and Gooch over at Back Talk Bros. You can find that in the chat, I'm sure. And then I had it in last night's video as well. So as we get started today, they're just getting ready to go and actually do football things. And this is kind of nice, right? It's been a long time.
So nice.
And we talked about the rookies. They get together and actually go through some things with the vets. That's key. And the only thing that I will say before we start answering questions, because I know you guys have a ton of them, is that this is the time when we got really fired up about Noah Gray last year. So let's just remember there's a little bit of salt to go with some of it. You know what I mean? So hey, it's gonna be fun. I am starting to stack some questions. And I see that some out there, for those you veterans, if you're on this channel and you want me to see it, you probably got to put some question marks at the beginning of your question. Please do that. That will help us get everything rolling. And for you super chatters, I guarantee you I will get you an answer tonight. Thank you. I see a bunch in here already. Appreciate the support. But please do, if you're going to super chat us and support us, we'd like to support you by giving you an answer. So make sure you put something in there. Sometimes people forget or some get carried away. So with no further ado, Dan, how are you and the little one?
Doing well. She's watching a movie right now. We've gotten into a groove, but Mama comes home this weekend, so I'm happy to say we'll both be seeing her. She'll be happy, and everything should be smooth sailing from here on out.
That's awesome. I am glad to hear it. It makes things a little bit easier, I have to say.
Just a little.
Doug, thank you from the RGR family and from us as well. Glad that you're here. We very much appreciate it. And Doug again. Are we done looking for UDFA or free agents, that is, for the defensive end spot? I don't think so. Do you, Dan?
Who knows? Like, Clyde Edwards-Helaire lost 60 pounds or 40 pounds last offseason. No one knew until January of this year. So who actually knows what the Chiefs are doing? It's not me, and I'm not going to pretend to know, Doug. So I apologize, but I want to say no, but I really have no clue.
I don't think it was a situation where they had all their eggs in the basket of Jadeveon Clowney or anything. So I'm guessing they're still looking around. They're still talking to some people. I know there's other options out there. I don't know that any of them actually get you to your destination of getting to the quarterback more as a total for the season. But I think there are a couple of interesting options that kind of help support what you have in the rookie and Karlaftis, and then as well as Frank Clark. So it might be like a support signing rather than come be a star and do all the work yourself kind of signing. But it also has to be a good value. I know that. They're not going to run out and do it just because they feel that, now that they've missed out on Ingram, that they're in a panic. I think you have seen this team, this front office, make some selections, because they're pressed into a corner. I don't think they're going to make signings because of that same reason.
I agree.
So it is what it is. All right, we're getting some great questions. Doug has another one. Thank you again, Doug. Shout out for the mod father Liz. Fatherette. The mod mama, that's what I'm going with until she tells me otherwise.
Mod mama, this fatherette. It's mod fatherette. It's pretty good stuff going on.
This is a great question, Gary, and I'm glad that you're back. Who do you see making the 53-man roster as a running back? And really comes down to, do they keep 3 or do they keep 4? And that all, I think, depends on the DBs. I think the wide receivers will work them out. I really don't think it's going to be a log jam for like the 6 wide receiver spot. I think by the time camp rolls around, we're going to have 6 that we feel pretty demonstrative that they are the 6. It's the DBs that I can't predict
too many
if they're going to have a 5th safety at all, right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. So that's what I'm really keen to see. But I will say this, Gary. I think that no matter what, there'll be 3. Because they don't like to go less than that unless they absolutely have to. And I think they want to go 4 as long as guys are giving enough of an upside in multiple ways. Now, a lot of people want to push Pacheco to the starting role. He doesn't get that to start the camp. He walks into camp and all of a sudden he's the only one making yardage. Okay, then you can elevate him, but he doesn't get that to begin with. Rookies behind a first-round draft pick at your position, you don't get that. The question to me becomes, how much, especially early here in OTAs, are they really trying to do what they did with Noah Gray and find out what Rojo can do in the pass game?
Yeah.
Because I think that's probably the biggest question facing that signing is like, how much can he give you not handing it to him? That's my question as well.
Is he? You can't just. I don't know. The whole thing with Rojo is he's not ever been a guy who can catch passes in the NFL. Not once, ever. He was given that role. Like, he is as the 3-down guy. He's failed at every single opportunity they've given him. So much so that a guy who's also not really that great at catching passes in Leonard Fournette said, okay, they said, no, we're just going to take you off the field and you're going to get all of them. I don't care who's back there. And it was that. So I don't think that all of a sudden he's going to come into Kansas City and figure it out. I don't think that's going to happen. It's got to be Clyde being the guy on the field for passing situations. This is his 3rd year. It has to be. If it's not, he's done after this year. He's done. He's done. That's it. There's no more. They're moving on, whether it's going to be Rojo, whether it's going to be them drafting another running back next year, trying to find a retread, whatever it is, they're done with them. That tells me they don't have any interest anymore, that they misevaluated him, which is a problem.
It is a problem. I think obviously he'll play out his rookie year no matter what, and that will be next season. But I agree. He's got to put it together just to have a semblance of getting his career back on track and getting or close to meeting expectations. Because there is part of this that is an expectation versus reality kind of discrepancy too. So, but I will say this. They want to talk like they think Rojo can be a pass catcher. I too am not certain of that.
Yeah.
But I think they're going to give him a lot of looks here in the next couple of weeks before they go to camp, just to find out like if they even see a thread of it like they think they do. And then if they don't, then I think it becomes a battle with the rookie in Pacheco as well as Derek Gore, because I know they like what they saw from Gore, but I don't think they saw enough. And quite frankly, to be a UDFA guy that's trying to battle 2 former good draft picks as well as another one, he's got to really step up. He's really got to show something. So the question for me is, what has Gore done in the offseason to improve his game? What does that look like? That's going to be the question.
Yeah. But I'll answer your question. I think they'll keep 4.
Yeah, you do think 4? Okay,
yeah,
fair enough. Good evening, Chad. Thank you for the support as always, Chad, buddy. And defensive end, what do you think they will do? Is there a chance? Nothing. There is a chance. Nothing. I think that's pretty slim, though. I think they have to understand, because they'd already done the thing to put the flag on Melvin. I think they understand they have to do something. I don't know what the heck it is.
Do you though? Had they,
it feels like it to me.
Maybe they just knew that he wasn't coming back. Like, they were just like, okay, at this point, we've had maybe they've had a conversation, and they felt coming away from that he wasn't going to be in Kansas City next year. So they said, all right, let's get something. Because, we need something. You were productive for us. We did want to bring you back, but apparently at a number that was like, what, 0.6 million ahead of what you tagged him for was too much for them to go ahead and match. So that tells me they did not care.
No, but they recognize they need something is my point. And so the fact that he's gone doesn't make me think that they don't need anything anymore. So I think they're still out there.
Still tells me they're a little too comfortable with the situation that they shouldn't be comfortable with.
Fair enough. That I'm totally with you on that angle of it. I just don't know, nothing stands out to me like, hey, you got to go get this guy. Even Clowney didn't stand out to me like that.
Yeah.
I mean, he ended up getting 1 year for $11 million. I don't think there's rumor that they went over that and offered him more, but I don't believe it.
It's he turned down such and such contract he season is what that is. Like, this happens every year. I don't believe any of that stuff anymore.
Yeah. It's a little far-fetched, but again, a support role, somebody that can help get Karlaftis on track quicker, that can help relieve Frank a little bit. I think that's what you're looking for, whether that's kind of a Carlos Dunlap type, maybe a Kerrigan type, I mean, we're talking league min, couple of $1 million for a single season, that kind of thing. Or they're making a lot of phone calls to see who can they wrestle away from somebody else.
Yeah, that's interesting. I would be very interested to see them going after somebody, like trading for somebody, because that would at least tell me that they understand the situation's not exactly kosher.
Right, that you're taking it seriously and you're trying to actively correct it. I'm with you there. So I think we'll have a better inkling in a few weeks, Chad, but thank you for the question and thank you for the support as always. Scotty, thank you very much. The Hi Dan button is now activated.
Thank you, Scott. Appreciate that.
James, what can you tell us about the running back Ely? I watched 2-3 games, I think, while I was watching the wide receivers from Ole Miss. I wasn't there to watch him, but he popped more than the receivers did in a couple of different ways.
Yeah.
I know you did his film. What did you bring from it?
He's the definition of a scat back. He's never going to be a between the tackles guy. Sometimes he gets a little pinball action where he'll kind of bounce off somebody because he has a little stockier frame for someone who's smaller, but he's definitely more of a pass catcher. He's not a true burner either. Maybe about 4, 6, 7 on tape. Like, he's not like a true fast guy, like a breakaway guy in the NFL. Definitely more so at the college level, but he's going to bring, if he makes the roster, that tells you a couple different things about how they feel about their pass catching running back situation, which is a whole nother problem. But they want a little bit more explosion in the passing game, which he will bring that. He can line up outside, he can line up in the slot, he can give you multiple different looks. So he's just really, really small. So he's essentially Dexter McCluster, DeAnthony Thomas type of players that if he can find a way on special teams and be one of those guys that is stronger than he's, pound for pound, as Dave Tobe likes to call it, pound for pound, the toughest guy on the roster, then he has an opportunity to make it.
Okay. I like that. Doug, great show with Michael Burton. Do we have a nickname for him yet? I don't, only because I'm scared to slip and actually say it to him. So I haven't really done that.
Yeah.
But if you guys have one, I would like to know it. But thank you, Doug. And thank you, James. Appreciate you. Who do you think emerges as the number 1 wide receiver? I think it's MVS has a chance to shock some people. Digital Viper, it's interesting. He hasn't done that to this point in his career, but in terms of learning the offense with Sky Moore and Juju Smith-Schuster, he has no more lead on them than anybody else. So it is truly, in my opinion, a race. Can you do what Mahomes likes? Do you show yourself available when he breaks the pocket? Can you do those things that earn you credit from him? You know what I mean? I don't know. Could be. What do you think, Dan?
It's wonderful you asked this question, Digital, because it just so happens that I have a video tomorrow prepared for this exact situation where we talk about the wide receiver position in Kansas City, what it's going to look like. Who do you think is going to be the best guy? And I'm not going to tell you right now because I tell you in that video. So you want to go watch that tomorrow and see exactly what I say.
It'll premiere tomorrow afternoon. I think I have the thumbnail just about ready for it. So
boom.
It'll go up. But I like that you picked MVS. I think the role that he was given in playing for Aaron Rodgers, this might be a breath of fresh air for him. So let's see what he can do with it. I like it. James, I heard that the 2023 class will be much better than the 2022. Do you agree with that? At certain positions, sure. I mean, come on. The quarterbacks are night and day. If this were last class, the Chiefs would have had a better chance at a more prolific edge rusher that was a little bit more dynamic. They would have had a better chance at probably an actual man lockdown corner. And obviously you saw those guys go in the top 10. I'm not saying they would have had a top 10 pick, but the quarterbacks, I mean, I think there's going to be 5 quarterbacks taken before the Chiefs get on the board next year if they pick where they slot in naturally without the trades. So I think that changes a lot of things. But for what I've seen, Will Anderson's Will Anderson, but I don't know that the edge group is going to be as deep as this one was or as varied, to tell you the truth. Because like Karlaftis is the head number 1 guy in terms of like the power edges in this class, but there were a lot of 3-4 like edge, like bender type dudes. And there was a good number of tweeners, of hybrids as well.
Right now, I'll tell you the talent at the top is much better. Pretty much in the positions that I've seen, it's better. There's guys with higher upside, with more actual just raw talent in this class. But until we get to see them on the field next year, that's when we're going to really know, because right now we're projecting, and there's also guys that always break out, that always have really good seasons that you've never heard of. That happens literally every year. So that's the hardest part. But from what I've seen in those position groups that I've started, the talent at the top that we're projecting at the top is much better than the talent at the top this past year.
I mean, think about it. If we had this conversation a year ago tonight, I would not be talking about Sauce Gardner at all. He wouldn't have been on my radar. I wouldn't have been talking about Jermaine Johnson.
Nope.
I mean, Trayvon Walker, Quay Walker weren't anywhere on the radar. There's a lot of guys that last season they're on the field, like jumps them all the way up to the top. There's guys there's somebody going to be taking the top 15 that I haven't watched yet.
That many people haven't watched yet.
Yeah.
That no one knows.
It just comes out of nowhere. It all comes together for some guys as a junior, and boom, all of a sudden they're a national hero. Like there's a lot that's going to go on. But thank you, James. Which rookie has the best chance to win the Mackley Hill Award in your opinion?
So off the top, I think that given the circumstances surrounding the position, if this person wins the job, he will have that, because it's going to be a dogfight in camp to get it. And if you do a really good job, guess what? It comes with that award. Darian Kennard's going to have a chance to win the right tackle spot. And if he does, he will have the best chance to win, because he'll have to be that final piece. If you can win it and be the final piece of the offensive line, guess what? Everything else folds in. You can have protecting Mahomes. You're going to have this more successful run game. That would be the click and place kind of puzzle piece for that offensive line.
I like it. I like that concept. I think it's going to be Sky Moore, because I think of all the matchups, when you look at them, I don't think defenses are going to care where he is. I mean, there's enough film on everybody else, even though it's not in this offense, for Juju and MVS. Like the teams will know how to combat them. They're going to make plans to take them away, or at least play coverages that allow you to counteract what they do. The one guy that you can't counteract for right now is Sky Moore, because you ain't seen him do nothing.
That's
not
true.
Even against good college competition. So I think they're going to blow him off. I think he might be the rookie of the year or rookie of the month in September, and then see what.
I don't think he's going to play enough to do that.
I think he is. I'm feeling it a little bit. Maybe I'm looking at too many rookie premiere videos. I don't know.
He might be.
Who knows?
He's got 3 guys ahead of him on the depth chart, so he's going to have to work to take one of those spots.
Yeah, but they gotta rotate. They gotta rotate and stay.
Yeah, they will. And unless, again, I think I just the whole offense thing is the one thing. Learning the playbook is going to take the most, and the other guys are coming in at least have NFL experience. He's coming from Western Michigan. This isn't him coming from a top passing offense school. It's Western Michigan. Their offense is simplistic. His route tree was simplistic. Mm-hmm. So I'm trying to give myself a little bit of a. He's got to wait. He's got to learn. Just keep it down.
Okay. That's fair. That's fair. I'm just saying. I like it. Looks good in the uniform anyway. What do you?
Oh yeah, it's so good. I don't care what anybody says. 24 on a wide receiver. He pulls that off.
Alyssa, thank you. This is a great question. Who do you think will be the craziest person not to make the roster? As in, it's the craziest situation that they didn't, or they're literally the craziest person?
I think
that's a great question. I do. Man, that is a great question. And I'm wondering, who would it be? Because, I mean, they've backfilled enough that I'm not leaning on all the draft picks.
I have one.
Okay.
It's a crazy one.
Because I don't have one.
Rashad Fenton.
Good. Wow.
Rashad Fenton would be the craziest guy to not make this roster because we've seen him play safety, we've seen him play corner, but they heavily invested at both safety and corner in this draft and the free agency. They brought in a guy that can replace him. They drafted a guy who can replace him. Rashad Fenton might not make this roster. I'm just saying. I'm not saying that he won't for sure, because I think that having experience is better than having none. But the simple fact of the matter is they drafted safeties and corners and said, guess what? Y'all got to earn your spots now.
Go compete. Dang. It's a good point. I hate to say it, but hey, folks, everybody say hi. Stevie's in the house now. So is Big Chief Sean. A lot of contributors here on the channel are in the house tonight. So say hello. If somebody sees Gooch, shout at him for me and make sure that I know. We will get to that next. So after the crazy question, Mr. Who, are you sold on the defensive line? No, I'm looking for a discount. Like I'm here with a coupon in the checkout.
Yeah, right.
Line, you know what I mean?
Feels like they're always in this checkout line with a coupon.
Right. Not only do I think that they need to add somebody at edge, I do think they need more pass rush inside as well. So no. But I don't know if it's going to be anything that is taken care of before camp.
Yeah.
I don't know. See which veterans decide not to go to camp and hold out a little bit longer before signing a deal. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no. Now that we're just holding the defensive line. Just no.
Yeah. Butt kicker. Hope you're doing good there. So I guess it's Dunlap or Hicks. Kind of bummed at the DE situation. Yeah, I mean, and those are two guys that you might be able to have them both in-house for what you're going to pay Melvin.
But Hicks is what, 380 pounds now? The dude is, and he's 34. He's big. I know he was listed at like 360 last year, but
dang,
he is not just a large human, he's a large football player. Like
that's capital large, dang.
Yeah, like, he got some stuff there.
Mo said, I heard Ross is looking real good out there. Did you guys hear anything? I heard that he looks really healthy, that he's moving as though he is not encumbered at all.
The most important part.
Exactly. I didn't hear anything about whether he's running the right routes or lining up in the right spot or anything like that. Like, I don't think last rookie camp was really about that. Let's see what happens this week and where he's rotating. But I'm just happy that he's able to keep taking reps, and that's what's going to be key for him.
Yeah, that's it. Just make sure he looks good. Run it.
Right.
Just run. Right. I don't care about anything else.
Sean, is anyone else excited to see what Andy Reid does with the talent wide receiver room we have? I'll miss Tyreek, but man, Andy has been drawing up some crazy stuff. I think that he could. I hope that he does.
Yeah. So I want to temper some expectations on the talented wide receiver room. There are some good players. I think all of them have opportunities to be good. But I also think you have pegs that all fit in a certain spot. I think Juju is a slot receiver. I think MVS is only an outside guy who can only really be a deep threat for you. McCole, if he can be a Z receiver, awesome. Route running, be on the field where you need to be. Do we know? Do we have any clue? Sky Moore, unknown. There's a lot of
unknown.
Really know. Like, if Juju can ever get back to what he was, even in 2020 where he caught 8 touchdowns, like do we know that? No, we have no clue. I want to say that it's talented, but the best I can come up with it's multifaceted. That's what I can give you.
I like that word.
Yeah, right? It's what it is. In September, we'll know if it's truly talented, and we will also know if Patrick Mahomes, as we all assume, can truly elevate a wide receiver room.
Right.
That's the biggest thing.
And to your last point, Sean, I'm looking forward to the crazy. I don't think that we've seen it. I don't mean that just go back to pop passes and inside underhand hangoffs.
Yeah.
Like it's got to be something new, right? So I'm really looking for stacked formations, trip sets, double tight split out, like some interesting things that I think they can riff off of.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think we'll see that till camp, if at all,
For sure.
to the regular season. But I do think like the crazy part I'm here for. Thank you for the support, Sean.
Thank
we
you, Sean.
appreciate you.
Appreciate you.
This is a great one for you. What's the UDFA that's most likely to make the roster?
I think that's been the most obvious, right? Like everyone just assumes that Ross will make the roster as UDFA, but I would lean Ely, honestly. I think he's the most dynamic running back in terms of a guy who can come in as just a purely pass catching option because he's too small to pass protect. He's too small to play in between the tackles. He'll get run over. But as a pass catching option, he can get down. He's got quick, loose hips. He's got great feet in the open field. And if they feel that way about their running back room, then Ely is the guy that I think has the best chance to make it. Specifically on offense, there's a guy that I think you might go to maybe on the other side. Unless you're just.
Well, Eric nailed it. I mean, right now, Mike Rose is LB4 for me. He's not even on the roster. He might not even have to play teams as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, Rose is another one. I think I saw Jim. What's his face? The guy who runs the Senior Bowl, Jim
Nagy.
Jim Nagy talking. He would have been a 4th or 5th round pick had the injury stuff not come up. So, but again, you need athletes at linebacker, and he's an athlete.
Yep.
Okay.
I think you're going to see a lot of him and Mike on the special teams. So, Scott, with the changeover from more experienced to far less experienced players on this roster, what are the real chances of an AFC West title with murderer's row of first 8 opponents? I'm not that scared, I got to tell you, because at the end of the day, you could still move the ball with that offensive line and that quarterback.
Yep.
Are you going to score as many points? You're going to have closer games? Probably. But I do feel like the defense is probably by the second quarter of the season on par with last year, just as a complete defensive unit. Do they get more pressure? I don't know.
They're worse
at the AFC Championship without getting any pressure. You know what I mean? So, like, I'm just trying to be realistic about what the game outcomes are based on that. But the AFC West is definitely tighter.
Oh yeah.
But no, I definitely think that they're still in the hunt there. I think it's going to be a little bit more difficult to get to the number 1 seed.
Yeah, for sure. It's the AFC is the toughest it's been in a long time. It's young quarterback and talented quarterback stacked. They have teams, the defense is stacked. Like it's extremely tight.
But I do think that they can win the West. I don't think it's going to be a runaway. Yeah. I think the sweep of the AFC West comes to an end here this year.
I agree.
But I do think that they still get the win. Brian, since you know me and you know Mike Burton, and Mike Burton knows Mahomes, does that mean that I know Mahomes? Yes, you do, Alyssa. You know him.
That's it. 6 degrees of separation.
Right? I just got to watch out for Brittany, because if you know Patrick, you know her too, and she seems like she might be a little upset. I don't know. Cole, what are the chances, given that we have 12 picks in 2023, that Refuge pulls off a trade for, say, Quinn? It's certainly a possibility. I don't think I would go after Quinn. If I'm giving up like quality draft picks, I'm going after somebody a heck of a lot younger than that. But I agree. That specifically gives you the ammunition that other teams want in return, because they're not looking for player exchanges. They're not looking to just shed contract money very often. And I definitely don't think that the Bears definitely are, because they need all the talent they can get. So I don't know. But those draft picks will come in handy.
Yeah, for sure.
Whiskey Bravo, thank you very much. Appreciate the support. D is one, if not the primary positions of concern. What is the lesser talked about position that you feel isn't as strong as it should be? And what should have been done, or will Casey do to be okay? What is the impact if it's not addressed? What's your weak point that you think maybe they didn't give enough priority to?
Whatever my dog thinks. I don't know.
I agree.
She's just barking like crazy. The less obvious, I don't really have one. Like the only one. I mean, defensive. I was about to say defensive tackle is the only one like that comes to mind, because defensive end is the obvious one, and they addressed pretty much everything else. Their offensive line solid. Yeah, defensive tackle with pass rush and really more run defense. Like, I just don't see the interior. If anything, it's worse than it was last year.
And they made the concerted effort to draft Karlaftis. It certainly gave that the priority that it deserved. It looks like they had a plan to have Melvin Gordon as well. Maybe Dan's a little skeptical of that, but it on the surface, it seems like that. So it looks like they were at least aware and addressing it, but it didn't seem like they felt concerned about the defensive tackle spot. So maybe that's because you knew that they were looking for power edges that Spags like, which I had a great discussion with Matt on the channel comments today, you guys. I'll probably do an extra video for you members to talk in my normal language in a way that describes that. But it comes down to this. It's not that they're not trying to address it, and it's not that they're not trying to get good players, and it's nothing to be derogatory about Karlaftis, because he has a lot of upside and he's good at what he does. The question is, you have an older coach in Steve Spagnuolo that you let basically make that pick. And quite frankly, if they underperform another season or two, he might not even be here for all of Karlaftis' contract.
Yeah.
And that's where the problem lies in. But at least they're addressing it. I think defensive tackle is one that they just kind of crossed their fingers and hoped was going to work out. And maybe it's because they're going to plan to move power edges inside. And if they had the depth, they could have gotten away with that. Now that's changed.
Mm-hmm.
Big Chief Sean, you guys, make sure you go sub to Sean's channel and check him out. And Sean said, what wide receiver doesn't make the starting job?
Do you mean like the roster, or just like the three starters?
The three starters.
I would imagine probably three starters.
Yeah. I think it's the rookie, right? He's got to be fourth.
It's more. The other three guys, Hardman, MVS, and Juju, will be your starting wide receivers day one, my assumption.
Yeah.
Unless Sky just comes in and says, hey, guys, I'm the best receiver you drafted ever. Right? And he's just that good, then okay.
You like that?
I love it. And it would honestly say goodbye to Juju. 1 year, $6 million deal, he'd be to push to the side. That's what would happen.
Well, I hope that they get a good rotation going, because I think they need more than three. So got to have the kids step up eventually. So 5 and 6 are going to be interesting. Tevin, thank you for the support. Appreciate you. This Ely kid gives me some chills. Pac-Man is good and is lightning, but Ely's one cut is absolutely nasty. How solid is Clyde, Rojo, and Gore? Clyde's a first-round pick. He ain't going anywhere.
No.
Rojo, they spend money on. He ain't going anywhere. So it's about where is Gore comparatively. I think it's going to be a pretty good battle. Dan does not expect a battle.
I don't really. I think it's going to be Clyde and Rojo, and that's it. Like, I don't think that anyone else is going to get many touches unless someone surprises, and that's what you have to do. Specifically as a UDFA, you have to surprise. And I know that a lot of people are higher on Gore than I am, and that's fine. You can like him. That's all your prerogative. I personally believe that Clyde is going to be the majority touch getter in this offense this next year. One, it's his third year. He's finally fully healthy. I think that they need to see what they have. They have to see what they have. Like, if you can stay healthy this season and they can kind of ride you a little bit more in terms of a 65-35 or 60-40 split with Rojo, okay, do it and see what you can get out of him. Mm-hmm. That's what they have to do with the first round pick now. They don't really have a choice, in my opinion. They have to see what they have. If they come in this season, it's like a 50-50 split, you're seeing the tea leaves already, in my opinion, because either Rojo is that much better than he's been in his career, which I will not believe until I see, or Clyde's just not what they thought he was. And what we all thought, I thought. And that's definitely the case.
My bigger concern is that they both get hurt.
Yeah, that's true.
Both of them have had some issues staying healthy. So it is about, of the two rookies and Gore, like, who can then give you a guy that can step in and play all three phases and isn't just a part-time single role kind of guy. So I think Clyde and Rojo, somebody's got to stay healthy. Somebody's got to take the job one way or the other. And that guy likely gets to stay in Kansas City beyond their current contract.
Just hope that the best situation is both of them push each other to be the best that they've been in their careers. That's what you can hope for.
Agreed. I like that. And thank you, Tevin. Thank you, Doug. Are you guys going to camp this year? Absolutely.
We are definitely going to try this year.
If it's open, we will be there. I don't know if it'll be the same time, but we'll be there.
Yeah, we'll try. we'll try to get that to actually happen.
Knock on wood. Tom, any talent in the USFL, the DE position?
No.
There was a name or two that I was interested in, like before their season started, but
Yeah,
I haven't seen anything to make me go, oh, we got to go get that guy.
yeah. The wide receivers are the guys that are showing out with the terrible quarterback play. Like, there are actually some guys that are going to get contracts, I think, after this USFL is done. So that's probably the only position that's getting picked up, though.
Could be. Thank you, Tom. Appreciate you. If something changes, we'll definitely let you know. I'm going to try to watch some of that as it goes forward. I haven't been able to actually watch much live.
Yeah.
Under over of 800 yards of 4 800-yard receivers, who will be the most successful running the ball this year, Rojo, CEH, or Court Pacheco? 4 individual 800-plus yard receivers. Kelsey goes in that, yes? Then I would take the over. If Kelsey's not included in that, I'm taking the under.
I think he is included in it, and I'm probably still saying under.
Okay, fair enough. Who'll be more successful running the ball overall? Oof.
It's interesting because you have to consider yards per carry, like overall impact.
Well, let's talk about that. Let's talk about total yards per scrimmage versus yards per touch.
Yeah.
I think total yards is probably CEH. Yards per touch might be Pacheco.
What?
He can just run dudes. Well, because then if he only gets 60 touches on the year, it's on a per touch basis. He's going to run some dudes over. If I can just get him to try to glance off of somebody instead of running them over, he'll be fine.
That's it. The dude, like I said, just a total jitterbug. He's looking for that hole. If he finds it, guess what? He's running through it. He may not find it. Probably will find it, but if he does, he's going to get through it. Yeah, I think that I do think people tend to forget that Clyde's first year he had over 1,000 yards total. So from scrimmage, so I think he'll have the most this year, and I think he'll be the best back. But again, I'm higher on him than everybody else, and I have undying faith in my guys, and he's one of my guys. So
I just want somebody to take
down with the ship,
make themselves scary.
Yeah,
scare other teams, and I'll be happy with you. Do you think that Rojo might miss the 53 if the youth does well? I don't. That what did they give him? 1.7, I think, in signing bonus. He ain't going in.
Yeah.
What do you guys think of Matt Bushman? Have you watched him at all? Did you see his college film?
I did not. I've got no opinions on Matt Bushman, guys. I'm sorry.
I liked him, and he bailed Zach Wilson out a lot. He's the next Blake Bell, in my opinion. He's not a great athlete. He's not super great at blocking. He can do a little bit of everything, and he's actually got pretty soft hands. So in a clutch, you're smiling. What do you got?
I want a tight end too, like legit. I want Jody, someone to take it. Just ideally, I'd like to see Travis get like a 10% decline on his snaps this year, run the ball a little bit more, get him a little bit fresher. I think that we got to find somebody at tight end that can be there. And I know it was Jody last year. He was going to do it, and then he got hurt. He was legit going to do it. And I'm just hoping that he doesn't get fully impacted from that.
And hopefully we see Jody in some shape or form this week.
Yeah, I'm hoping.
My guess is it's probably going to still be on the sidelines, but hey, I'll take it. If he's moving around, I'm happy for it.
Yep.
Will they trade for a DE or sign one before or after Brown's extension? I think it's more likely after, so long as they can get that done.
Yeah, right.
It's not a guarantee.
Nope.
Do you think it's possible for UDFL linebacker to make his roster? Yes, I think it's Mike Rose.
Yep.
I like the kid Ely, and Andy was talking about his hands. So, yep. We're all on the same page. We're all reading the same tea leaves here. Would you trade Frank Clark for a pair of seconds to Washington for Chase Young and maybe a 6? Absolutely. Why in the world?
Yeah, no, why not?
Why the Virginia Commanders would take Frank Clark and give anything up for him is beyond me.
The Virginia Commanders.
They just bought like 200 acres in various spots. Well, just so everybody else knows. They may be out of there, folks. I don't know. Washington, I mean, they might force Dan Snyder out. Which
I hope so.
It's something we should probably talk about on 33.com. NFL33.com, folks. If you want to talk non-Chiefs, that's where we're doing our new work, and our new guys are coming on there.
Yes. Oh, man.
Any non-KC vet cut targets. This is kind of crazy, especially when they just announced that they're going to do in season with the Arizona Cardinals. But they just drafted multiple edges.
Yeah.
Is there a chance that they let JJ walk?
No.
No?
Because they'll just kick him inside.
Okay.
At this point in his career, he's probably better inside as a 3-tech anyway.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's why I'm wondering, like, is the contract worth it? But fair enough.
I mean, do they have anybody else that can reasonably produce outside of JJ Watt? No, they didn't bring Chandler back.
Quentin Van Boeven, one of our members, folks, that's what that little sign means. Welcome to the memberships. And for those of you that are new, if you join at the rookie level or not, you get in the Discord at that level. So make sure you hit me at this address I'll put on the screen here. And I notice I do have my normal evening private chat in the stream from Dan telling me to hurry the hell up.
You guys actually probably saw me typing it up about 5 minutes ago. I was just like, hey, just speed up a little bit.
Right. So with that said, do you think Powell will make the field this year?
Thank
Unfortunately,
you,
Quinn, I don't think Powell will make the 53 this year. So,
thank you so much, Quinn. You have to ask me about my guys. You guys heard me about my guys. I have everlasting faith. He'll be on the roster.
Everlasting. That's awesome. Macho Man Burton. I like that, Tom. I'm going to tell him that too. I think he could use a persona. I think that would make Mike that much more fun to have around. And I hope you guys enjoyed that. He is easy to talk to and willing to share his opinion. And I think that's rare in a lot of player interviews that I've done over the years. So it's pretty cool. Rodier, welcome. As it stands right now, do you believe the Chiefs team is a championship caliber team? It's a tough one. Right now, I can't say yes.
Just remember, 2018, the Chiefs had one of the worst statistical defenses in the NFL, in NFL history, mind you. Patrick Mahomes carried them essentially to what should have been a Super Bowl appearance. So I think as long as they field a halfway 25th in the league defense, Patrick Mahomes is their quarterback, I'll side with Mahomes and saying they can still win a championship.
And that's a fair point. That's not where I was going with that. I'm just looking at it from a standpoint, by my count, there's 4 or 5 rookies that are going to start on this team this year. We don't know where they are or how fast they're going to adapt, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm just not sure. I see them as a playoff caliber team that if things come together, they can make a championship run for sure.
3 or 4 started last year, for what it's worth.
Yeah, exactly. But that's yeah. I think that's where we get lulled to sleep though, because 3 or 4 did, and we had success. Yeah, no. It's hard to do that every year.
I agree.
So look out. Oh wait, I didn't answer Chris's. Sorry, Chris. Who has the most scrimmage yards for the wide receiver group this year?
I'm not going to answer the question. You guys can find out my opinion on that tomorrow.
Gotcha. I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm going to say Juju.
There you go.
Chance of the Chiefs finally run the ball more this year. 10%, Spencer. 2? I got 10. I got the over. All right. That's good. This is like Jeopardy or Wheel of Fortune or something like that. Price is Right. That's the one I was thinking of. Do you think that Orlando Brown Jr. will sign a new contract before the season starts or play in the franchise tag? First, he has to get an agent. I haven't heard of him getting an agent yet.
Right.
That's a problem. They got 3 weeks. So I hope that they do. I think that should be the goal for everyone involved, to tell you the truth, including Orlando. So I think that they will. Chris, some experts compare Sky Moore to Will Fuller.
No, they didn't.
I hope not.
I really hope not. I'm sorry, Chris, but that's like the perfect example. If you guys didn't see the film review, which you should go back and watch, but I said Doug Baldwin. That's what Sky Moore is, in my opinion. He's Doug Baldwin. So if anybody says Will Fuller, they're not watching tape and they're lying to you.
Well, and I will tell you this. I didn't think Baldwin because I thought he was of the Seattle references. I'd probably go Lockett because I think he has more to offer underneath in terms of route running and ability to use yak, whereas I thought Baldwin was best on the outside. But
I have them completely flopped.
Do you really? Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Especially because Lockett is a proven deep threat in the league. Like a true deep threat can get open deep and can catch that.
Right,
I think
right.
Baldwin was more of the underneath route over the middle kind of guy that could make some plays. And I feel like that just reminds me of Sky.
Oh, man. We got to go look that up. because maybe my perception or my memory is just out of whack. I am old, so what are you
You
going
might
to
want
do?
to go watch Little Tyler Lockett.
Well, I know I'm going to go look at a heat map of where they caught their passes. Don't give me watch tape. It depends when you start watching tape. They're almost as old as me. They're
That's
whippersnapper.
True. They're
so
getting
hey,
there. Tyler Lockett's getting up there. And playing
but the point, Chris, is that Will Fuller is a single threat wide receiver, and he's hurt all the time. I don't think either of those things apply to Sky. You get one mulligan on redo from the draft. Who are you picking and who are you replacing? Ooh, that's interesting. So who was on the board when they picked and you would have taken differently?
Okay. Try to stay with me, everybody. Stay with me.
This is going to be like a cascade, isn't it? This is going to be like 7 different picks.
It's going to be 2 different picks because in the very first pick, I love Trent McDuffie. I would have taken Jermaine Johnson in that spot, traded up and taken him. And then that causes a cascade to bring Andrew Booth or Kyer Elam to you at 30. And I would have taken either of those players. I would have taken Elam at 30. He's not going to be Trent McDuffie, but he'll be an outside player that is physical and wants.
I think the Bills still would have taken him if McDuffie was gone.
Well, McDuffie wouldn't have been gone. That's what I'm saying.
Well, we don't know in the interim. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I'm assuming because I can't tell what anybody else would have done. I just would have said slot corner to corner and just assume McDuffie's gone. Maybe McDuffie falls to 30, but regardless, I would have taken Jermaine Johnson at 21 and then a corner at 30.
Okay. And that's certainly the argument. I actually had McDuffie as the better prospect over Jermaine Johnson, so I would not switch him. I'm actually really happy with that pick, but
no, I love the pick.
Yeah, but I don't know. There was someone. Where was it? It might have been in the 4th that there was somebody. I was like, hey, you should do that, and they didn't. But I'd have to go back and look at the whole order, Sean. But I mean, the argument would be the first rounders. Would you have flipped them for a different combination of DB and edge rusher? That's really what it comes down to. Chris, which linebacker has the most sacks and tackles? Ooh, that's going to be very different because Nick Bolton's going to lead you in tackles.
Yeah.
And for linebackers, especially if they use the overhang that I think Chanel's built for, he's going to lead them in sacks. Unless they just start blitzing Willie every freaking other down, which I would love.
I would love it.
Let's go. I am all for that. Dang. Now get me fired up, guys. Holly, great picture again. Why are people so bent out of shape about Sky Moore wearing number 24? Oh, I didn't know they were. And
there's been so much talk. It's basically just people that don't like the fact that you can wear whatever you want to, but saying it's disgusting. Like that, it's not. It's so nice. It's so nice.
Good for them. Let them wear what they want. My guess is, and especially because when you're in Pee Wee football, especially, but even like into the junior high level and that kind of thing, a lot of guys want to be running backs. A lot of kids grow up wanting to be running backs, so they all wear lower numbers, and good for them. Who cares? I don't know why people would be upset with that, especially because didn't he wear 24 at Central Michigan or Western Michigan?
He did.
It's his number.
Yep.
Once it's yours, it's yours. Claim it, take it, make it yours. Thank you, Holly, though. I don't think it's worth it, and I agree with you. I don't get it either. Doug, do you think Thornhill can become a leader, or do you think Reed or will both be? I think they brought Reed in to be because I don't think that's Juan's thing. I don't think he's a vocal kind of like rally people up, hold people accountable type guy.
He's a Sammy kind of guy.
Feels like it to me.
Soft spoken.
Yeah, like we'll do his leading by his actions rather than being demonstrative. Sugary, I like that. Who is Chiefs' upcoming schedule do you think that is going to be worse than projected other than the Raiders? Ooh, that's a good one. I think the Bucs are going to be very good, but I don't think they're the Super Bowl caliber Bucs, and everybody seems to want to anoint them as they're going back to the bowl, and I don't buy it. So them.
I don't really know. Like I'm going to say the Rams because I think they caught lightning in a bottle, and I love Matthew Stafford. Stafford is one of my favorite people and quarterbacks in the league. I love him, and I don't think that he wins again. Like I don't think he's going to get another Super Bowl. Like he should have probably lost to the 49ers. He threw a pick and it got dropped. As much as Matthew Stafford can make some incredible throws, he makes like 5 just like what are you doing throws a game, and that's I don't know. I just feel like the Rams are going to have some regression.
I could see that as well. I got to tell you, like my favorite thing, I didn't think he had a personality until I saw his like latest AT&T commercial thing. Like
I love that commercial.
That wink is gold, bro. I'm just telling you.
I love that commercial.
Zig, congratulations. Not a question, but starting your first film evaluation for the Scouting Academy. Well,
that's awesome.
Done. Say hi to Dan for me. And good luck. Enjoy that. Not this Dan. The other Dan. Sorry. But good luck. And get back to us after you've gone through the class. Love to pick your brain. Get in touch. You can do that at that same email address as well. Liz, I'm always happy to yell at Gooch, and I'm happy to hear that. Don't piss off Mod Mama, folks. I'm just telling you. What position group are you sold on?
O-line. Let's go.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty dang solid.
Quarterback's pretty good, too. I've heard some things about this guy.
Well, there's that one guy. Where's 1.5? I mean, yeah, you can probably move on from him. Master Keys, hello. Really like your new channel. I like that. Exa. I like that. Everybody go check out Keys and the Boys over at the new channel. That is back, BAK, Talk Bros. I like that. Sean, thank you for the support. I'm going to look for another one from you, Sean, though, because I like to give you an answer or a comment or something on what you're thinking when you throw us some support monetarily. Appreciate you very much. I don't see anything, though, so I'm feeling guilty now. It's going to happen. Who do we match up best with in the division, and who's the worst matchup? Ooh, what do you like?
The Raiders are easily the best matchup because their defense is atrocious, and every time that they play them, they just carve them up. The toughest matchup is probably still going to – and actually not still. I think it's going to be the Broncos. And
oh, yeah?
I think so. I think Russell Wilson is good enough to make the weapons there tough. And the defense, I think, collectively is still a little bit better than what the Chargers defense does against Kansas City. Because even at their worst last year, the Denver Broncos defense handles things differently. And I know it's going to be a little bit of a different system this year, but I would imagine that some of those same concepts are going to be used. And the one time that they really got slowed Patrick down a little bit without having to overly confuse him were the Broncos. So I'll say the Broncos.
Okay. I'm going to take the Chargers there.
Yeah.
Because I feel that they're still a little bit better, and they tend to play the Chiefs pretty hard too. The best matchup, I'm going to tie it with I'm going to take a cop out and tie it with the Chargers and Raiders because Jerry Jeudy can't stay out of jail, evidently. And they had a fearsome lineup that would give the Chiefs trouble physically with their wide receivers. And then they go away and they trade Bryan Edwards away for no reason at all. I don't understand it. Doesn't make any sense. Like he's a physicality that's what he went for 98 yards on them one time last year. Like, I mean, he gained momentum and he's a guy that's physical that they have trouble dealing with. So
like 80 of those yards was against Anthony Hitchens down the field. So, I mean, that's just
it's still on the scoreboard, bro.
Let's remember.
Okay. All right. But still, like I think that depletes like how well-rounded, how hard it is to defend them, to tell you the truth. Obviously, you got to have somebody quick on Renfro, and you got to double up on Adams. But other than that, I mean, you should be able to take care of it. They got 17 running backs they're going to throw at you. I don't know if any of them can run or catch, so who knows? Where do you stack the wide receiver room against the rest of the NFL? Top 10 too high at this point.
Very too high at this point. You got no clue.
You could see it from there though. On paper, no, it's more like a top 20.
Yeah.
But if it clicks.
And again, if Mahomes elevates them, yes.
Right.
Right. And then I'm not trying to down Patrick. Guys, trust me. He's never lived without Tyreek Hill. There's going to be some growing pains. We have to remember there's going to be some growing pains.
Juju, Sky, MVS, just listen to me. Just keep running. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. If you guys do it, maybe McCole do it.
Yeah, right.
Could they drop Chanel into pass rushing on some plays? Yes, like the overhang thing that we've talked about, where they kind of walk him up on the outside of the formation, usually on the weak side. Yes, I think so. Can they, take Frank Clark off the field and have Leo do that job? I don't think so. I don't think that will be effective. But yes, I'm not kidding. I want to see them blitz the A and B gaps with Chanel all day long because he can get in there and cause some havoc. Oh, I'm looking forward to that. James, Fountain or Gordon? Who's more likely to not make the roster, assuming Ross pushes one of them out? So we're assuming Ross makes it. I think Gordon's out.
Yeah, I do too.
Because he doesn't play teams.
Yep, that's the biggest thing right now. There's 2 spots you're vying for, in my opinion. You play teams, you can figure it out, and he doesn't.
And he's 31 years old.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. If EB leaves after next year, does Nagy take his place or look somewhere else? I don't think Matt Nagy's getting another head coaching job for a bit. He's got to be a coordinator again before that happens. And I think he would take the spot for EB. Because I think Joe Blameyer has a spot, but I don't know that he's ready to ascend to that point. So
yeah,
my thought, he's probably go quarterbacks at that point and then come out and,
had Kafka still been here and they like brought Nagy on as a offensive specialist or whatever it is, right, I think Kafka would have taken the spot, but
agreed.
This just plays right into Andy's comfort zone. He brought in a friend coach in Steve Spagnuolo. He just keeps hiring guys from within. Like, this is Matt, welcome back. We'll just put you right back in the fold.
Well, and I'll say this too. Matt Nagy's been credited with some of the more creative stuff that they put in early in Patrick's career. So I'm excited about a return to some of that, where he doesn't have to deal with being the head coach and being the guy in charge and managing the whole team. He just has to come up with cool plays. I think that's good for Matt Nagy and for the Chiefs. What do you expect from Kelsey? Kind of pessimistic. He's declining. Emmanuel, that's fair. Like, he's been a little beat up the last couple seasons. Yeah. There was the ankle Achilles thing 2 years ago, and then he was just generally beat up last year. So, like Dan was saying, if you reduce his snap count a little bit, I think that helps him quite a bit.
I'm also expecting a PO'd Travis Kelsey this year, to be honest with you. I think he was very unhappy with the way that he was played physically and not had any calls. And I think he's been getting better, trying to get in better shape this year and be a little bit stronger to really bully people. Because the one thing about Kelsey is he's always won with being the better athlete. His hips and his ankle flexion create a ton of separation. But if he can bully some of these guys that are going to play really, really physically with him, maybe he starts to be a little bit better. Because the reason he wasn't, in my opinion, that good last year was because teams were like, all right, we're going to just hit you. We're going to beat you up in the first 5 yards. We're going to hold you because they're not calling it and no one's calling it. And we're just going to do whatever we can, slow you up. And they did, and it worked. And I'm hoping that he comes in PO'd and ready to be a little bit stronger and more physical through his stem.
And a couple of guys that are going to be his friends in that aspect, one is MVS, because they give a legit X body receiver, so Travis doesn't have to go be the X anymore. And also, I really hope that Fortson, Bushman, Gray can step up, even Blake Bell a little bit, and be like the bodyguards. I want to see double and triple tight end formations where Kels gets the ball with somebody in front of him so they can't body him up, so they can't jam him at the line. I'm really looking forward to Andy and Matt tweaking the offense to now do what they did for Tyreek in manufacturing ways to get Tyreek up, and now they're doing that for Kelsey, and all the receivers will then follow after. Like, I think that's going to be great for his longevity and getting him to the point where he's not only a Hall of Fame candidate, but, back into the discussion about Tony and not just about longevity. It's about production, and I'm looking forward to that. Who's better, Broncos or Raiders? Broncos are better team right now, in my opinion.
Agreed.
Okay. Harlan, am I the only person not sold on Orlando Brown as our left tackle of the future? His film was very average at best, and for as big as he is, he doesn't get much push in the run game. He plays too high to get pushed, and you're absolutely right, Harlan. That's one of the things that we've been screaming about, that he's got to get his pad level down if he's going to be more effective there. I hear that he's been training pretty well, and if he comes a little bit lighter, I think that helps his feet a little bit, where it's not just all his length, and if he doesn't get his feet, he then has to really adjust, and he can't use the things that he's good at. I think he's the best option you're going to have at left tackle for the next 3 seasons, though. So I think it's one of those deals where if you don't have a franchise left tackle, then you're in trouble, and he's the guy that you got now. I think they'll leave themselves an out after maybe 3 years of this contract, maybe less. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that Mahomes figured out how to win and how to move with him. And so you have that figured out. You don't want to go through that with someone else. And I think that he's done enough to prove that he can at least be here for the next 3 years. It's all going to be the money, because I don't think he's worth the top 5, 6 in the league type of money, because I don't think that he can play like that in Kansas City because it's not his game. It's not his style. That's the only problem is you're going to find some friction there with the money. So, but I do think that they figured out the issues they needed to with Mahomes and Orlando Brown, and it's kind of best to try to get that extended for now until you can feasibly draft somebody better.
I like that. Folks, Back Talk Pros is over here. List with the link in the chat. Go check them out and get subbed to their channel as well. Don't worry, they're still going to be here from time to time, but you get an unfiltered, unadulterated version of the boys over there. So go check that out. We're going to speed through these last ones as we are at the hour already. Man, I can't believe we're there already. Sorry about that. Do you think Cornell will finally make the team? Dan says yes. I say no. Lachlan, thank you for your support. Appreciate you. Sky Moore is the truth.
I would love it.
More no-look passes from Mahomes.
Let's do it.
I love that that's what we're rooting for now. Here, Sky, come in here and catch a no-look from him. Don't worry about whether he's looking at your night. It's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. No big deal. Mac, thank you. I appreciate your question and your support, Mac. Thank you. 3 options. First, third, and Niang for Josh Allen. Niang and a 5th for Quinn, or sign Carl Trey or JPP. Assuming you could get that done, I would do 1. I don't think you can. I think the most likely thing is 3.
Yeah, I think the most likely thing is 3. I think that Josh Allen's never been on the table, honestly. I think that everything that we heard was smoke from other people trying to spot up rumors. I don't think he's ever been on the table. And Quinn, I'm not trading a feasible, possible starting right tackle for. And, yeah, sign a guy off the street.
I like it. I'm with you there. Thank you, Mac. Appreciate you. Harlan, you got another one. I think if Pat throws anything over 35 touchdowns and 4,000 yards, it should be a runaway MVP this year with 3 brand new receivers. I also think CH should have a CMC type year rushing and catching.
Okay, Harlan. So I'm the leader of the Clyde hype train. You are just like, woo! You are full steam ahead. I love it, but I don't think even in Andy Reid's system that's ever going to be a thing, especially with Patrick Mahomes. He will never throw to the running backs enough to be a true CMC type of role. So as much as I appreciate, I love your enthusiasm. Thank you. Keep bringing the Clyde love because I will soak it up. It's just probably not feasible.
Do you guys live next door to each other? Something y'all drinking beers at night, coming up with this stuff?
I wish. I would love to drink a beer with Harlan for this stuff right here. I'd love it.
I agree with you about Patrick Harlan, and I will say this. I'm more optimistic with you than Dan is, because I will say this. CMC never has a full season either. So if Clyde plays a full year, he might actually get up to that and might be able to put that away.
The only reason we know about the CMC season because he's had a full season.
What? Has he played more than 1?
Yeah, he's played 2 or 3, actually.
2?
I think the last 2 years he's had some injuries, but his first 2 or 3 years he was pretty good, but he's smaller, so we started to get run down.
All right. Clyde finally primed for a breakout? Question mark. Dan says he is. His utilization has been irritating. You're absolutely right there, DC. Yeah. Too many stretch plays, not enough gap, interior runs, and honestly, Kennard helps that. He's much better gap blocker than Niang even thinks about.
Very much
because of waste of a touch, Daryl. Now that's where you lose me, DC.
Yeah, that's
Daryl got you through some games.
He was so efficient, guys. He was really good, a really good running back. I'm surprised he's on the street still.
I thought he signed.
No, he's still on the street. He actually just tweeted about it today. Like he's kind of PO'd.
Okay, good for him. He ought to be. He's proven it. Are you guys going to make any games this year? Dan, you're going to.
I am going to the Buffalo game. I will be at that game once again. At least it's not the Sunday night game this time. It'll be a nice afternoon, early evening game, and I'm excited.
So if somebody wants to set up a post-game tailgate, Dan might be able to do it live from there, at least for a couple of minutes.
I will have a babysitter, so yes.
Oh, you're going to have to get with Sean, man. He can give you all the ins and outs about Lot D, I'm telling you. What would you give up for Quinn?
A 4th, at the most.
I can live with a 4th. It is a need of enough importance to me that I would do that. I would not give up multiple picks, and I would not go into the top 100.
These guys know me. These guys, I love it. Yes, if Powell makes the 53, I will get a jersey, and I will show you guys my Cornell Powell jersey. I will do it.
Timestamp 1 hour, 5 minutes. I got to put that in there just so we can find it easy later. Thank you, Doug. That might be the question of the night right there.
Yes.
Bill, if the Chiefs switch to more of a power running game, I'm all in on Clyde because of the Pro Bowl this
You
season.
guys, you're
Don't
helping
at me, bro.
out. I love this.
Dude, we gotta have to Dan's army is out tonight, and Harlan's back. After
Helping me
watching Leo's highlights, I got to say that I'm on the Leo train. The linebackers group looks really good, and I actually think they will be the barometer for how good the defense is. And that's I'm glad to hear you say that, because I've always been one that I think the linebacker level is how you start building a defense, because I think you can find hybrid athletes that can do more for you to help both the front and the secondary by getting that layer good first. Because I think interior defensive linemen in particular are very difficult to find in this league. Pass rush is a premium, and so is coverage. So, like, I'm with you, and I think that the barometer part, especially, I love where you're coming from, Harlan. Kyle, what do you expect from Karlaftis and Kennard going head to head, and what do you expect of Sky and McDuffie going head to head? It'll be interesting if Sky and McDuffie do, because Sky is going to be a slot receiver. He's not going to line up on the outside very often. And I expect McDuffie to be on the outside.
That's okay.
Yeah.
McCole Hardman
you think they're going to move
like 40% of the time. So yeah, I expect Sky Moore to line up.
Last season before that, it was like 12 or something.
Yeah, but still, like, he's still been lining up on the outside. He's he's a smaller, compact, more receiver. Like, Sky can
right.
He's going to play on the outside. I mean, when you say he probably predominantly will play out of the slot, so I'll agree with you there.
Well, because I think it's hard for a rookie to come in and learn all three positions. That's why I'm saying it. Like, you have to start with something somewhere and then move on. But I think McDuffie concurrently will be outside more, so you'll see it move around a little bit. But I think you have it right. Karlaftis and Kennard is going to be a battle that makes both guys better. I'm looking forward to that.
Speaking of Karlaftis, I will have a film review of George Karlaftis on Wednesday, and I promise you guys it will be 100% unbiased. It will just be, tell you what the film says. None of my own personal opinion until, the end, where I tell you what I think.
Time out. Now I'm going to tell you what I think.
Yeah.
All right. That's cool. I like that. Do you believe the Chiefs will address Kelsey's replacement in the draft next year? They spent a pick on Gray. Obviously, Jody's making good progress if he can recover from the injury. I don't know that they look to the draft to get that done.
Yes. And that's because I think that they have the picks to do it next year. And it's true. It will depend on the value, the position, and where they think Kelsey is. Like, if he has another season like last year, I can almost write it third round, fourth round pick will be spent on a tight end.
Okay. James, rookie most likely to not pan out over the 4-year contract of the first 5 picks. I don't see any of them not completing their 4-year contract. I think you're talking about Chanel, Cook, Sky, and the first rounders.
I think they're all going to make it. The problem is going to be figuring out who's going to be worth that second contract. I think maybe that's what the question is more geared toward. Mm-hmm. Possibly. And it depends. Like, if Cook can take over one of those spots, maybe. But if he's a third safety, maybe he gets pushed out a little bit. It's hard to really know which these players are, not going to pan out at this point. They're all rookies. Never played in the league before.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to see
next year. Next offseason, ask the same question, James, and we'll answer the question then.
And we'll probably do the year after that and year after that too. I feel best right now about McDuffie and Cook.
Yeah.
Tom, Sky Moore, might as well Fuller. Really good drugs. Okay, cool. The guys that you say are overpaid underthinkers. Say stuff to make noise. Let Sky be Sky. We're all going to be pleasantly surprised at what he does. I agree with you. And I think that's one good thing that you can count on this staff to do. Is they'll take what he's good at and they'll let him do that in maybe new ways, maybe unconventional ways, but still rely on his strengths.
I agree. I like it. Thank you, Tom.
Avery agrees as well. Yes,
yeah, she is having a ball.
Appreciate you, Tom. Thank you. If the Chiefs win a ring this year, will other teams come and pick our coaching staffs or leaving our coaching cabinet bare? I don't know.
So. I don't
love
think
to say
so.
that EB will finally get plucked, but I don't know, man.
I don't think EB is going to be on this staff next year one way or the other. Period. He'll be college coach.
I'm just saying he ain't going to get stolen, quote unquote.
No. It's funny. Like, teams don't really pick the Chiefs clean. They have like one guy leave and then maybe a front office guy leave, but they don't get like cupboards barren. They just have more guys they can bring up.
Yeah, absolutely. Darius, thank you for the support. Appreciate you. The defense always starts the year adjusting to what Spags wants to do. What does it look like this year, and how long does it last? I mean,
it's not looking good, Darius. It's not looking good.
I don't know. Yeah, like Dan, I'm very excited about Leo Chanel. Like Harlan, I think that could make one of the best linebacker groups. Chanel's not going to be on the field that much because Spags wants to play nickel and dime. He wants to play nickel and dime. And that's going to be challenging. That's going to be frustrating until later in the year, teams run all over him, and then Leo gets to play.
Yeah. You guys remember the Eagles game last year? How infuriating it was that Jalen Hurts was just lighting them up. It might be like that for the first 2 months of the season. It might be an infuriating thing to watch.
Just remember, everything before the bye doesn't mean it's going to be the same after the bye.
Yeah, just hold on tight. It eventually always gets a little bit better.
Thank you, Darius. Kyle, thank you. A little more worried about the receivers than the edges just because it's Mahomes, Reed Bieniemy, Kelsey, and top of the line on a pass-happy team needs to be the greatest show on turf. I don't think it needs to be that because I think having all those guys gives the veterans a little bit. Like, I think the pressure will be on Juju and MVS and Hardman, but I don't think that stresses out Sky Moore or Fountain or Gordon or whoever else makes it. If Ross makes it, we'll see. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
I don't know. It's hard. It's hard to know.
It is. Let's see. Jeremy, thank you very much. George is the draft's TJ Watt. Watch out. If that's true, I'll be happy as a clam.
Me too. He should change his number though, if that's the case.
Well, yeah, that's true. He's still wearing 56 right now?
I think so.
Okay, well, I guess we'll find out tomorrow. Sorry.
I'm hoping so. It's not great. Like I know that I just made the whole thing about, but I'm talking about the Ben Neiman vibes that I get from that. That's not so much.
That's what you're. Okay.
Because I don't care about who wearing. We just talked about that with Sky Moore. It's the Ben Neiman vibes that I'm just like, I don't know.
By the way, folks, the new shirt, the Leo number 54, will be up tomorrow since he's changed numbers on me twice. I had to get in there. Didn't Kelsey have 1,000-yard last year? Yeah, he went over 1,000, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
So that's.
Yeah, I don't mean in terms of his production. I mean in terms of the obvious wear and tear that the season took on him.
Yeah,
that's all I meant.
Bill, could Chanel be a third down edge in nickel? In nickel means that you're only showing a 4-man front, and no, he's not a true 4-man D edge.
No, the best you could get at is a guy who plays like a wide 9 in some of those sets. Like if you're teaching him that all off season, but just have him rushing purely off the wide edge. But as a stand-up defensive end on nickel, I don't see it right there. I see maybe as a wide 9 off the edge, but that's probably pushing it.
I will tell you this, though. If there's any injury issues, I think they will have to look to him in that role. And then we'll get a look. So
I agree with that.
That's where we're at. That was the last one. Thank you, Bill. Appreciate your support. Appreciate everyone's support tonight. Thank you to Liz for running our chat tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Liz, so much.
To all you regulars and all the contributors, we're going to let everybody get out of here and get on with our evening. I hope that you're doing well. Doug asked one more question. Let's pick it at 32 next year. It's still going to be DE wide receiver CB. Yeah, it might be DE.
I was about to say the first two, yes. Corner, probably not.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. But you all have a great night. We have stuff tomorrow on the wide receivers. We have film on Karlaftis after that. I have a couple of pieces I'm going to sprinkle in there. Seth and I on Thursday night, and then the boys back should be on Friday. You guys have a great week, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.